Getting a college degree is tough, and paying to get one may even be tougher, especially for student veterans. Our Drill Baker tells us how a large donation by a business in our area is helping out.
After a 15-year military career, Brandy Davidson decided to beef up her education and earn a college degree.
It's not as easy as it sounds because you're prior military that you can walk right into a job. Sometimes you do have to go back to school so that you can reinvent yourself.
Davidson says finding money to pay for college is tough, especially with a home, car, and being a single mother of 2 kids, one of whom is also going to college.
It's completely different financially than being active duty, especially if you come out of the military, you get out the military and you don't walk right into a job.
This week, Sports Clips Haircuts, headquartered in Georgetown, presented the Veteran of Foreign Wars Foundation with more than $1 million to provide scholarships for service members and veterans like Davidson.
We were a little bit apprehensive this year with the pandemic. Last year we raised about $1,250,000. This year we set a goal for $1 million and we made it.
The money will help student veterans who qualify get up to $5,000 per semester per family for service members and veterans in the rank of E5. Davidson says the money can help buy books or even the day-to-day of college life.
It helps out with a lot of things, gas, and even if I have to not work and just go to school full time, it'll help out with some expenses around the house.
Call it a way to help veterans finish their education after serving their country. In Bell County, Jarrell Baker, 25 News.
Jarrell, thank you. Last night we told you about that standoff at a doctor's office in Austin. Tonight, sadly, 2 people were found dead after the hours-long SWAT situation. Police say a physician with terminal cancer ended up killing a pediatrician after taking hostages at that office. He then took his own life. A number of those other people inside were able to escape. Police are investigating it as a murder-suicide. Let's get a first check of weather tonight. Chief Meteorologist Matt Hines is here. And Matt, temperatures are going down.
They are. It is getting quite chilly outside already. We're probably working our way down toward freezing later on tonight. You can already see the 30s showing up from Hillsborough, Corsicana, Waco, down to Temple, Killeen, over toward Hamilton, Goldthwaite, and San Saba. Still into the 40s as you head a little farther to the south and east, but it is already chilling down, and those temperatures will continue to fall through the overnight hours tonight as we do have a chilly air mass in place. And the winds have come way down as well, generally under 10 miles per hour. And as those winds continue to fall off, that's going to allow for those temperatures to continue to fall here across the area. So bus stop forecast as we make our way into the morning, we'll officially go 28 for a low. Some folks farther south will be in the lower 30s, but still it's going to be coat weather out there. So a cold start to your morning, but during the afternoon, high clouds will be moving in. Highs will only be into the low to mid 50s, so it'll stay on the cool side tomorrow. But it looks like we will be dry. We may have a few shower opportunities to start off the weekend, but I don't think it's going to ruin your weekend plans. We'll look at that 10-day forecast together coming up.
All right, Matt, thank you. Teachers have been struggling during the pandemic. When we come back, one group is taking a hard hit, and we'll tell you all about it. And hate those terrible COVID nasal swabs? Well, researchers may have a new way to screen for the virus. That study up next. Tonight, Killeen police searching for a driver who hit a 12-year-old and left the scene. Around 3:30 yesterday, officers responded to a crash involving a single vehicle and a pedestrian. Investigators say the child was walking in the crosswalk when a black Dodge Challenger failed to yield the right-of-way, hitting him. The child has just minor injuries. TxDOT is urging all motorists to drive safely around trucks on the highway. Tractor trailers and large trucks have more blind spots than passenger cars, and it's vital for drivers to stay away from the front, back, and sides of the trucks. One great rule of thumb: if you can't see the driver through their side mirrors, then they can't see you either.
Making sure those truck headlights are in your rear view mirror before you move back into your lane. Another thing to remember is to never tailgate. Tailgating is not a good idea in general, but especially so with a large truck.
Other precautions drivers must take are maintaining your distance, never cross behind a truck that's backing up, and don't squeeze between a truck and the curb.
Teachers already go above and beyond for their students, but bilingual teachers are facing even more challenges during the pandemic. 25 News reporter Sierra Shipley shares one educator story.
Killeen ISD has 4 different bilingual elementary schools, and teachers from Pershing Park and Tremere Elementary are speaking out about how they've handled the pandemic while creating lessons in both English and Spanish. Morema Rosario Martinez has to teach her lesson plans in Spanish and in English. A 3rd grade teacher at Pershing Elementary School, she has Spanish and English speaking students in her class. This means she has to learn what language each student is dominant in and create their lesson plans accordingly. Bilingual teachers already have full plates, but add on students learning virtually, they're juggling even more work.
You have to get creative. You can't just Zoom because it gets boring after a while. So you have to find different ways to just be creative, be innovative.
Martinez says building relationships with her students and their parents has helped her navigate teaching in a pandemic. These teachers at Killeen ISD and every other school district are trying their absolute best when it comes to teaching your kids, so they want to thank the parents for being patient and their students for always working hard. In Killeen, Sierra Shipley, 25 News.
Sierra, thank you. Texas has been an advocate for dual language education since way back in '73 when former Governor Dolph Briscoe signed the Bilingual Education and Training Act. It abolished the English-only teaching requirement imposed in 1918. In 2015, a Texas State Senate bill helped expand dual language education.
The CDC says it is possible for schools to safely reopen and limit the spread of COVID-19. In one study, CDC researchers looked at schools in Wisconsin that opened last fall for in-person learning. They found that COVID transmission was 37% lower in school than it was in the community. Experts say that's because of precautions the schools took. Could hard candy be the next way to screen for COVID symptoms? Researchers are working on a study right now to determine if fruit-flavored candy can be used to test for taste and smell loss. People in the study will identify the taste and smell of a candy. They will then enter their results into a phone app. If the participant reports a sudden drop in taste or smell, they'll get a text message to get tested.
With this candy, yeah, I think it would be nice, right? So if I'm tracking myself sort of daily, I would have been able to sort of see that less dramatic loss, right? And maybe that would have clued me in, something's going wrong.
The study is expected to start early next month.
Coronavirus variant showing up across the country could impact COVID testing. The FDA is asking medical developers to make sure tests can detect the virus as it mutates. One variant, that one first found in the UK, is now in 26 states. Moderna says its 2 doses of its vaccine should protect against any variants, though. The country is still split about rolling up their sleeves to even get a shot. 41% of American adults say they want the shots, according to the Kaiser Family Foundation. That's an increase from December, when only 34% said they were interested in the vaccine. Of the 1,500 polled respondents, nearly a third want to see how others respond initially.
The 4th annual 25 News Blood Drive is just one day away. Tomorrow, we're teaming up with Carter Blood Care. And when you donate blood tomorrow, you'll also be able to get a free antibody test. With a COVID-19 antibody test, you may be able to find out if you have had exposure to the infection by taking a sample of your blood. Organizations are able to see if there are COVID-19 antibodies present within your body.
Whether it's mono, or whether you have hepatitis, or whether we're dealing with COVID-19, we have antibody tests. So what the antibody test is actually measuring is your immune system's response to that infection. So when somebody has a positive test, it means they've been exposed to the virus.
Again, that drive is taking place tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can look for the bus. They will be parked right outside the 25 News station in Waco.
The numbers were going up, now they're going down. Fewer people taking the skies because of the pandemic. Coming up next, how many passengers TSA says it's screening this week.
All right, we are looking at a pretty chilly night here across the area, and in the morning you'll want to make sure you know where that coat is, as we're going to see those temperatures dip down into the upper 20s and lower 30s. Currently on our Extra Coat Eagle Eye and Killeen, mostly clear skies. 41 degrees, dew points down to 31, so with that number we can at least fall to that there in Bell County, and that could even fall a little bit more. It feels like 35 with still a north-northeast wind at 9 miles per hour, so a little brisk, but that wind should die off a bit more after midnight, and that's going to allow those temperatures to continue to crater across the region for tonight, as it will be a cold night across the area. We're staying mostly clear for now. The high clouds have stayed mainly off to our south and west, but they're starting to encroach on the area, and I do think as we move through the day tomorrow, we'll see a general increase in the high cloudiness over our part of the state, and that will continue on into Friday as well. But I think any moisture is going to be held back with this system so far to the west right now near San Francisco. It's going to take a couple of days for that to get over here, and even when it does, I think the track is going to be more toward Oklahoma and not Texas, so that should keep us on the drier side of things with that system. But that has been a doozy out in California with measuring feet of snow in the mountains there. Some mountains could get up to 10 feet of snow. Could you imagine? All right, rain chances here looking like this. Zeros for Thursday and Friday. We'll take that to 30% Saturday, but I don't want you to get too concerned because I think that's going to be an early Saturday morning event. It's going to be light, and it's